Hey guys, I'm Don and welcome to our Little Mountain Life channel where we are building a small homestead on a little mountain here in Virginia. This week's project has been building our raised beds. We all know what's going on in the world right now. Food is an issue and I think it's only going to get worse from here. So we're building a much bigger garden than we had anticipated. We were just going to do just one of these beds just to kind of get started, get our feet wet with gardening this year because we have so much going on everywhere else on the homestead. However, it's time to grow. So far I have 4 garden beds built, but we're gonna have 5 total. That means I'm going to break down the build of our 5th garden bed. I'm gonna show you all the lengths of the boards that I use and how I put things together. All of this is based off of research I've done over the last couple months, lots of YouTube videos. You know, there's a lot of great designs out there. I just kind of took all the stuff from what I gathered from them and put it into my own design. So we're gonna go build this 5th raised garden bed and I'll break it down for you. So we really wanted to make all of our raised garden beds the exact same dimensions and material. However, the wood that I had on hand was not quite enough to make it all the same. Didn't want to go back out to Lowe's again after everything kind of locked down. So we work with what we have. Most of the materials that we used to frame the 4 garden beds that I've done so far have been with 2x6s. This design that I've come up with, or that I've kind of adapted, is to use pressure treated 2x4s. So I'll show you the process with those 2x4s. I kind of saved them for the end. Beyond the lumber for framing, we have the corrugated roofing panels. They're 2 feet by 8 feet long, and I think they're like $14 at Lowe's. They're not that expensive and they're just right for this job. All right, so your first cuts are going to be for the long 2x4s. Basically, we're going to be building a box. Okay, so these long 2x4s here that run the length at the top and at the bottom, we're going to cut those at 99 inches. So what I did is I bought 10-foot long 2x4s, pressure treated 2x4s, and let's cut them down to 99 inches. Have the 99 inch and we have the 49 inch. These are 49 inches because when you cut down the corrugated roofing, you want to try to minimize the number of cuts that you do, just because it can be challenging if you don't have the right tool. So in order to keep this to being one cut up the middle, you want to make sure that your end boards are a little bit longer and can accommodate the 4-foot width of the corrugated roofing panels. So this board right here is 49 inches instead of 48. Now we need to cut these boards here. You're going to need 2 on each end and then 2 on each side, and those are going to be 19 inches long. We can actually use the pieces that were left over, and those will fit perfectly from the 19-inch uprights. So now we've completed cutting out all the 2x4 lumber. Now, to give it kind of a nice touch on the top, we have 2x6s that make it nice and easy to sit on your garden bed and harvest your crops and weed and whatever you need to do. And the 2x6s on the top are going to be cut in 103 inches by 44 inches. And it'll be put together somewhat like this. So let's go cut down some 2x6s. Next, we get to cut down these metal roofing panels with a special tool. All right, so what we have here is called the Malco Turbo Shear. This is a really cool device that attaches on to your power drill and allows you to snip your way through metal. Whether it's siding or roofing panels, I think they're especially designed for corrugated roofing, which is exactly what we're using it for. And I actually got this for free. I won a giveaway from one of my favorite YouTube channels. There's a channel, he goes by the name of Smart Easy DIY. And we have so much in common. He has just finished his pole barn house build, and his channel has been absolutely critical in my learning how to do all the stuff I've done so far and the things I'm about to do. And he was doing a little giveaway contest and I just happened to win just randomly. And so yeah, I got this for free. I believe it's about $90 or $100 if you were to buy it new. This part right here goes right into your power drill. In this instance, I'm using this little impact drill. So now that's in, and this adjustable clamp will adjust to pretty much any size drill you can do. I'll push it back up here. Make sure it's nice and snug. There's just a little locking nut in the back here. Hand tighten it. Now it's on there, nice and good. We're going to take one of the 8-foot long corrugated metal sheets and we're going to cut it right down in half. That's going to be the end pieces for the inside of our raised beds. So let's measure and cut. It's an 8-foot long panel, so each of these panels will end up being 4 feet long. And here we go. All right, guys, so now we have made all of our cuts. We have our 2x4s, our 2x6s, and our corrugated roofing panels all cut down. Now it's time to assemble. So the idea for these raised beds is that you're building a box that you'll then attach the metal roofing inside of. All right, now unless you want to use super long screws, I'm going to drill kind of pilot holes that will actually allow me to countersink down through the width of this 2x4. So let me grab the drill. I'll pre-drill some holes on all these longer 99-inch long 2x4s, and that way we can attach it to the 19-inch long 2x4s. So I'm just going to pre-drill 2 holes here. Same thing down here on the other end. All right, so now I'm just lining up the 19-inch long 2x. Now the screws I'm using are just 3-inch long screws. All right, so that's one of the long sides, and now we just got to do it all over again. All right, so now that we have the long sides done, we need to do the short sides. Same concept, we're going to go ahead and pre-drill on our 4 49-inch long 2x4s. We're going to pre-drill holes on the ends of each and then put together the ends. Alright, so I screwed together the 2 short ends, we have the 2 long ends, and now we make a box. Alright, so now let's try, this should work better. Now we just got to put the long side on the other side, and we're almost finished with our box. This would be obviously a lot easier if I used nails, but with the weight of the soil on the inside, it's going to be putting some pressure on the outer walls, and you don't want those nails to back out on you. To attach the metal panels, we have these metal self-drilling lathe screws right here. These are number 8 by 1 inch, and they have the little kind of washer head to them, so it helps grip on to the metal without shearing through. Let's put some metal on these beds. All right, last panel. All right, we have the tin on the inside, but I have a problem. I boxed myself in. Time to jump. I did it. So we have 103-inch boards and your 44-inch 2x6s. Goes on like that. So we're just gonna screw them in with the decking screws. and then we'll be finished. Again, these are not the nicest looking boards. They're leftovers from our home build. But it's kind of cool knowing that the same batch of lumber that was used to build our house is building our garden beds. And there she is in all her glory, the raised bed. The 5th raised bed. Don't look too bad. It's functional. It works. It's gonna save my back when I'm 60 years old and planting and harvesting my vegetables. We'll have to bend over. So you can probably tell that although this is one of the flatter parts of our property, it's still very uneven. I think I'm going to go around and make sure I maybe shim up some of the beds or dig down a little bit. Obviously I want everything nice and flat so the water drainage is even for the plants. They are functional above all else. They're gonna hold in quite a bit of soil. We're gonna fill the bottom with some sticks and just rubbish, some organic rubbish, leaves, pine shavings from the chicken coop. And then I also have some wonderfully aged organic horse manure compost. There's a horse farm just up by the Shenandoah River. I went up there and she's giving me 2 trailer loads for just $10, which is really, really good. And I believe it's aged 4 or 5 years. So we're gonna get some good dirt in here, some good compost, and hopefully grow some yummy vegetables. I'm going to leave a list below with all the materials that you're going to need for this build if you choose to do one. There's the pressure treated 2x4s and 2x6s, and there's screws, and then there's the corrugated roofing panels to line the inside. So I guess that about wraps it up. Thanks for watching this How I Do It raised garden bed build. Even if you can't put together a raised bed garden or an in-ground garden at your home, I hope that you are supporting local farmers and farmsteaders that might have a little extra produce that they're selling. It's always better to buy local, and you definitely don't have to travel as far to get what you need to be healthy during these crazy times. So I guess we'll catch you on a future video where we fill these beds and get some crops growing. Thanks for checking out our Little Mountain Life.